You can do a lot of work in an hour, a lot of work in an hour in a lot of other areas. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sweet. So the only thing I have to say, though, is core issues are the hardest to find. Okay? So most of this...
Really honest with yourself, I guess.
Well, and you hit it right. Being honest with yourself is the hardest part of this, because the different compensating mechanisms that we have dealing with other people, we have those just as strong working with ourselves. So the thing is if you have anger issues, then what we're going to find is that the more work you try to do with the core issues, you may find that anger starts coming up for you a lot. Okay, and I've seen this working with individuals. As we get close, they start to get a little angry, or they get a little fearful, or they react in a particular fashion. Procrastination is one. It's a fun one too. Okay, most specifically because the thing is it's like, did you do EFT since the last time I talked to you? No. Why not? I don't know. Just, didn't really have the time. It's like you tell me you didn't have like 5 minutes. Okay, out of an entire week, you didn't have five minutes. Like seriously. Okay, so you spend more time brushing your teeth than you would doing this process, and you don't have 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden I get the, well, and it's like, no, I understand what's going on. Okay, do EFT on procrastination, or figure out why. So when you're doing this process, the goal is procrastination, and start doing this process specifically on procrastination. And when you do that, you find that your resistance goes down drastically. Okay, because yeah, it's not, and the thing is everything I do here is an experiential thing for me. I've done this on myself to get to this point. So this isn't I've read a whole lot of books, been to a whole lot of seminars.
Yeah.
This for me is more experiential than it is rote knowledge. Even though my knowledge base, I understand the inner workings of this. My background in chiropractic is mind-body medicine. And I've been studying it a lot longer than I've been studying EFT. And so when I came across EFT, I'm like, this is so easy. I know exactly what you're doing. This is so insanely easy. And what I loved about it is like, hey, you could explain this to somebody, have them doing it in an hour. And instead of taking like a 16-hour graduate course, which would require actually a higher level of thinking. Some of the courses, if you're not already in that mindset, you'll have to go to 2 or 3 times before you, okay, I think I understand it. Especially when you get jargon and lingo and all that other stuff that it's like, so what is this? What is that?
Yeah.
So when I saw EFT, I'm like, man, I know exactly what they're doing. It's ingenious in certain respects. I'm like, man, I just can't even believe that they even thought of putting this together like this. This is really cool. So it got me really excited to move forward. And so what I did was took the processes that I've been taught through my mentors and through working with people and added it into EFT to make it more effective. Okay? And it's not that the system is inefficient, but the thing is the way I think it could be used a little bit better, and I think it could be a little bit faster. Okay? I will also say I do encourage you to go online and look at how different people do EFT.
Yeah, I looked at a couple because your thing was the first time I'd really heard of it, and so I looked it up just to see if it was what I thought it was. And,
What did you find?
I looked at a couple different guys. It went very vaguely into the tapping. I understood that it was acupressure, but I didn't know that it had so much of a psychological type background.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it sounds like it's almost, the way you describe it sounds almost like therapy in a way.
Well, the thing is can you use it? The guy I learned from is a psychotherapist. I think he's a psychotherapist. I don't know what his actual title is, but he does therapy. He's worked with the VA hospital with vets coming back with PTSD with very good results. And in the energy, kind of this energy mind-body realm, now I'm not as familiar with that field, but I have met a lot more of the psychologists, counselors who are diving into this. And can you use this from that perspective? You can. Okay, I'm not teaching that area because I don't know that area. But I've worked at one seminar. I did work with a lady who she used to be in the area who did something very similar to this, very different but very similar, and it was really amazing for me that, you know, see, from my perspective, I'm looking at neurology, the body, the brain, basically how you physically respond to the emotional things. Okay, that's my perspective. Her perspective, the body thing wasn't really an issue. It was a thing for her because, you know, well, you know, counselors, you know, you don't really feel many counselors are kind of doing hands-on work with people. Right. It's not a hands-on kind of thing. I'm saying you get the picture in your mind, and it's you get the, you know, somebody's laying on the couch, and then you got the guy in the chair with a notebook and a pen and paper who asks you questions. And so the thing is there's not a physical component that goes with that. But it was really good to see how her training actually was able to take it from a counseling perspective and move into different areas in that area. And so, do I find value? Yeah, I do. That's not my background, and that's not where I work with. So, you know, what I recommend people do is if they feel they need that, is go into and look at it. But can you have issues inside of up here that you're dealing with that after all of this stuff has been taken care of, you no longer have? Yes, that's been observed across the board. So the thing is you kind of get a, you know, think of it as a side effect. You know, so like the counselors, are they treating musculoskeletal or physical complaints? No, they're not. But by resolving the mental, emotional portions of it, the complaints go away. Right. Same thing from our perspective. Dealing with the physical body, using the physical body as the realm and method of working and getting into things and how we feel about things. Do we have a change in mental status because of that? Yeah, you will. There's a huge connection between the two, and I know that, you know, the way the system is put together, they try to separate things these days. Okay, you know, like you work on your guts, you work on your hormones, you work on babies, you work on old people, you work on this. They separate it all out, and the thing is that's okay, and for some things, but ultimately it's how does everything work together. Yeah. So, absolutely. Oh, it is. It's really, really fascinating things. So, let me teach you the points. Okay. Or actually, let me kind of finish what I meant to say. Okay. Is that when you're looking everything up online, you will notice that I don't do everything that is taught by other people. Okay. If you go to the main website, I haven't been there in a while since it's changed owners, but you used to be able to get the basic manual for free. I assume you still can. I'm assuming that they all kept the original tenets and all that stuff. But I don't teach you all the points. I'm not teaching you everything. Okay, I developed this to teach you enough so that you can actually go ahead and do it. Okay, the biggest thing that I really didn't like when I first started teaching this is the amount of people that took my class that have been to more EFT classes than I have. You know, it's like I was like, are you familiar with EFT? Yeah. How much? You know, have you been to classes before? Yeah. How many classes? I've been to like 15 classes. You know, and I'm like, why are you taking my beginner's course? If you've been to 15 classes, I should be asking you for help. Yeah. I'm saying I've only had 2. My background's different, but I've only had 2. And oh well, I never understood it. I still don't know how to do it. You know, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, you're kidding me. You've taken 15 classes, and you still don't know how to do it. And and actually, in all honesty, you're right. It's everybody throws all these concepts out there that are not necessary. And so the thing is there's what's important now, and then there's what's important to me, and what's important to you. And most of the stuff, even though it's really neat for people to know, it's not important right now for you. And so the most important things is to get an underlying understanding of what the technique is, and some basic terminology, teaching you how to do it and letting you play with it. And after you play with it a little bit and start to see some changes, for me, at least from what I've seen, is that's the point in time where all the extra stuff is going to come in handy for you. Okay? Because a lot of times what I've seen is you give people way too much information and they don't know what to do with it. Right. Okay? And so knowing where we get core issues from has nothing to do with doing EFT. Down the line it does, but in the beginning it doesn't. Okay? Understanding triggers, understanding what it is, I think is important at the get-go. But being able to kind of really dive into them really deep, you need to be able to do some work, but I don't think you need all the details. So look it up. Just realize that how I'm doing it is not how it's normally taught. Also, what I'm teaching you is not the rules.
Okay.
It's perspective. Okay. So here are the points. Okay. First one's on the side of the hand right over here. Okay. All I do is I just take my hand, kind of cup it just like this, and I tap the side of the hand just like that. Okay. If you want, you can just do this. You can just do it with me, and then you can write it. We'll have plenty of time to write it down. Okay. This is on the other side as well. Now to answer some of the basic questions about this. Okay. Yes, the points are on both sides. If you can't have both sides, some of them are midline, so you technically don't have two sides. But the ones that you have on both sides of the system, you have on both sides of the system. Okay. How fast do you tap? You tap fast enough. How hard do you tap? You tap hard enough. Be reasonable. Don't hurt yourself. How long do you tap? For the most part, 5 to 10 seconds maybe. I'm saying you can even do it even less. Okay. I usually say tap. The length of time is enough. Okay. So whatever that is for you, what I find is it's not a 15 taps and then you move to the next. Okay. Because as you start to do this more and more, what you will find is you will have more an intuitive sense of tapping. And so you'll spend more time on certain portions that do make you feel better, and you'll spend less time on certain portions that really give you no response. Okay? So side of the hand is the beginning one. Next one's the top of the head. Now there's two of them. There's one at the top at the front, and there's one at the top at the back. Okay? So we just do one at a time. So we'll tap at the front like this, and then tap at the back just like that. Okay. From here is in around the eyes, where the eyebrows come together. I normally just take 2 fingers like this, and I just tap where the eyebrows come together. One thing I will say, though, is try to tap pretty light around the eyes.
Okay.
Eyes are kind of sensitive. Okay. Sides of the eyes. Underneath the eyes. Underneath the nose. Underneath the mouth. Okay, and the next one is on the collarbones. Where the collarbones come together, you come down a little bit and out a little bit. And it's on the sides right inside of there. And just go ahead and tap on those like that. Okay, and that's an important one for me, because I've seen a lot of people who tap like this. Okay, do all kinds of crazy things. Okay, the points are right inside of here. Okay, so try to do that. Yeah, about right where you're at. Okay, those are all the points we're teaching at the basics. Okay, not that bad. Side of the hands, top of the head in the front, top of the head in the back, where the eyebrows come together, sides of the eyes, under the nose, under the mouth, and where the collarbones come together. Okay, and as you can see, I don't really have notes for this. The big reason is I find that when I would give notes away, my attention span was less for a lot of the people who came in.
Oh, yeah.
All I got was, are you doing EFT? No, but could I get another copy of the notes? It's like, okay, so you obviously weren't paying attention. You obviously didn't get it. And so that's why I don't have any handouts for these, is because I find that a lot of the people who were coming to the seminars weren't paying attention, weren't really learning it. And the attitude for a lot of them was that of, well, I don't have to fully pay attention because I actually have this piece of paper that tells me how to do it.
Yeah.
So I took that away because it was preventing people from learning and doing it, and that's my goal, is for you to learn it and do it. Okay?
Wait,
So
I think I missed one. So under eyes,
under nose, under mouth.
under mouth. Is there anything up here?
So we got the eyebrows come together,